Welcome everyone to the 31st One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace. It is Tuesday, March 13th, 2018. I'm your host, Rick Crammond, and once again, we'll have Caroline Keshe of the Keshe Foundation here to guide us through today's workshop. And I think she's ready and eager to begin today's teaching and guidance. Are you there, Caroline, ready to go?
Yes, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or good night in some cases. I hope you have a nice pot of coffee ready, because we have a beautiful session starting today, which actually started in my private teaching last Wednesday. And it is beautiful how it came up and how much understanding comes with it to fade away the borders of the countries and the purpose why. So there were knowledge seekers that have been kickstarted with the first way of knowing how. And I asked them to bring their wish on to today, because I asked Rick in the background to bring the charter up for the world peace, and so that they can be added. And this is a new chapter in understanding how we can serve and how much deeper it goes when we see the dots getting connected. Because we might not always be able to see the whole picture. And this is why I'm bringing it on this platform, because you're from all over the world. You're all knowledge seekers. We are all inspiring one another. And the beauties which are coming on the table, it's just marvelous. So I do not know, maybe I can bring Jalal up first, if he is available yet, or do we have to give you more time to come back, Jalal? Hello? Because I don't know if he's free already or not. I know he can hear us, but that doesn't mean that he can speak.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe he will wait till we have access, or he has access to more time.
Okay.
Maybe Flint. Flint, have you been able to prepare something?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So the whole way of what has been brought on the table was, how can your country serve humanity and the planet in its most beautiful way? And then, therefore, we can listen to Flint's wish. Are you ready, Flint?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. And my wish is that all military personnel and associated weaponry located anywhere in the world from all of the branches of the U.S. military are recalled back to the United States, and that the huge U.S. military budget that is used to support these people and their families is used to re-educate them to be peaceful instead of warmongers, and thusly elevating the education and peacefulness of all of humanity as they set the example for the rest of the militaries worldwide.
So, Flint, can you give this text to Rick so he can add to the chart?
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Because with bringing this on the platform, we can make this wish complete. Now, there were people, while Rick is busy in the background, there were people asking, yeah, but we have more beauties in our country. Why can't we not expand on those? And I said, if we bring the most beautiful wish on the table, we are not only going to work for the United States. We are, first of all, having, how can I put it? I try to remember to rephrase or to recap what I said as an explanation. We have created embassies worldwide. So each country more or less has a representative in another country. So knowing that, we also have Americans all over the planet. So this wish is not only for the Americans, but for each American, wherever they are positioned on this planet, will be affected through this wish. So they will start working in the field strength that we are creating through this wish, which has already started on last Wednesday. So it's not because we are keeping the wish to a very, like a core point. And this was the first thing that Flint just put on the table. I said, so you want to redraw all the military, which means we are going to create peace for a lot of countries where we know there are soldiers present. With retrieving them back to their country, then they can become at service to their own population to start educating, because they're all educated. They all can be beautiful in what they have been trained in, because the States is no other than any other place. There is lack of education, there's lack of order, there's lack of structure, there's lack of humanitarian support. But on top of that, he also mentioned the budget. So I said, then the budget can also take and embrace all the soldiers which have been hurt through this being deployed outside. They returned as veterans because they can't function anymore. They don't find their position back into the society. So part of the budget should also be covered to support those people, that through their experience, they can become peaceful teachers. So we are removing a lot of suffering, which means we create a lot of peace, not among only themselves, but worldwide, because that was what we wished for, humanity. And then the planet is that when there is no more fighting, Mother Earth does not receive that vibration either. So she will receive more peace as well. She won't get the bloodshed. She won't feel the fear, because she is as sensitive as we are as a planet. So if we bring this up, and if Rick could read it, then we can see if this is a complete wish, or if we can add something more to it, or what is more to wish, because it has to serve as a country in its beauty to show that it can be done, and in what beauty it will serve all the rest. Can you read it, please, Rick?
Sure.
I have a slightly new version for you.
Slightly new version.
There you go. You can push that in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Version number 3 here.
Yeah, there we go. I keep editing it.
Put her in. There we go. Okay, it goes United States of America, Flint. My wish is that all military personnel and associated weaponry located anywhere in the world from all the branches of the U.S. military are recalled back to the United States, and that the huge U.S. military budget is used to support these people and their families, and be used to help all veterans and re-educate them to be peaceful teachers instead of warmongers, and also be used to help all Americans, thus elevating the education and peacefulness of all humanity as they set the example for the rest of the militaries worldwide.
Anybody input, please?
Well, it's a long sentence.
Yeah, we learned that from Mr. Keshe.
Yes, it's
Yeah, you guys can.
challenge for the transcribers where to put in the period.
I know. You can certainly, fix the sentence structure if you want to and stuff, but or add stuff in if I.
Perhaps there's sort of two things here. One is to recall back the weaponry, and one is about the budget. So maybe just two separate sentences. So maybe
paragraphs. Yeah, okay.
Period in there to start with. Okay, maybe just separate them. Yeah, sure. Because that first one, then we can look at the first one maybe as one separate thing, and then pull it together with this budget part that seems tied in, but it's a separate sort of issue, you might say. Okay, so what about this? Is it complete as is, or would we want to change it somehow?
You can read it again, Flynn. Rick.
Okay. My wish is that all military personnel and associated weaponry located anywhere in world, I guess you mean the world. In world.
What if we say anywhere, located anywhere in the world?
Located anywhere in the world, yeah. From all the branches of the U.S. military are recalled back to the United States. Okay.
Can we also add, somebody put a message in the chat, any military equipment in the air?
Oh, that's what I meant by saying all military equipment, meaning implying that, because they got stuff in the air, in the ocean, on the ground, under the ground, in the earth. They got everything everywhere, outside of the earth too.
So it is
satellites.
It's okay, then it is complete. If it is all, then it's okay. And then we have the second one.
Okay, so
you could say weaponry and equipment.
Okay.
Trying to make that more generalized.
It's not generalizing, it's making sure it is all in it.
That's what I mean, yeah.
No misunderstandings.
Budget be used, wouldn't it be correct?
Oh, you're in the second one.
Yeah, we shouldn't start the second one with an and. Let's condense it a bit here. You could say, I wish that
the military budget we all know that it's the United States, so that the military budget is applied, not used. In supporting not these people, but people and their families.
What was the last part there? That the military budget be applied in supporting these people and their families?
That the military budget is applied. You have to confirm it. Is applied in supporting not these people, but people and their families. Because we cannot only refer to the soldiers, we are also referring to the ones which are making the weapons. Anything that has to do with military falls under that category. Doesn't matter if they're using it, making it, creating it, or developing it, or whatever they have in mind to use it in that form. And then, if you go, there should be a different way of saying, including all veterans, because they are no longer, but they are and were connected to it. All
so maybe
including all veterans.
how about that the military budget is applied in supporting associated people and their families? It's right now supporting sort of all people and their families, including veterans.
Yeah, you make it, and it sounds good. That's why we are together.
Maybe there's a better word there. It's applied in supporting, well, I'll just put in the associated for now. The associated people and their families, including all veterans, and re-educate them to be peaceful teachers. I don't know if I would keep in the instead of warmongers.
No, you can remove that because we are talking about totality.
And they may not all be warmongers, just most of them.
Just the leaders.
And then you have to rephrase after the comma of teachers. If you make a gap there, just push it a little bit down, that I don't lose the composition. That can be rephrased. Instead of using all the Americans, you can rephrase that as to be peaceful teachers
It's not bad the way it is.
What about
with this part?
What about internally? Meaning
no, because it is okay, but I asked them how they can bring the best and the most beautiful, how they can serve the best and the most beautiful way to humanity and the planet. So we have no problem that they are getting called back, that what they're doing in their country, but that doesn't mean that we are depriving them to go out in that form to serve other countries. So we can add a mission to it once this is reformed, that they can become a peaceful humanitarian army. You see, thus elevating the education and peacefulness of all humanity as they set the example for the rest of the militaries worldwide. And this can be captured in more, set as an example for humanity. Humanity is worldwide. And it doesn't mean that they need to show the military in that specific, because it's all mentioned above, but that they can become humanitarian, a humanitarian army. And that's, they can set as an example.
So would we remove that last part, to me?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I was looking at some stats, and you know, there's and these numbers could be low, but there's over 800 military bases worldwide that they're operating in nearly every country. And also within the United States, there's 6,000 military bases or military warehouses.
You mentioned it, anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
It means even within their own nation. You know something? I would put on the top line, yeah, or recalled back to the United States. I would use the phrase or recalled back to be dissolved into a peaceful.
Yeah, dissolved or dismantled or
yeah,
something.
or anywhere in the world from all the branches of the US military, or resolved, or how can you, I'm trying to find the right wording, or converted into a peaceful army, humanitarian peaceful army, converted.
I would call it organization instead of army.
Yeah, correct. Something that's not, because we have, you know, Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, and others.
So we are using everything. Everything is mentioned in the top. It's just we have to convert it into a humanitarian. And I wouldn't use army either. I would use a serving unit. Converted to a humanitarian serving unit. Or converted into...
Serving humanity.
Yeah.
Does that seem complete? That first part? Let me read it. My wish is that all military personnel and associated weaponry and equipment located anywhere in the world from all branches of the U.S. military are recalled back to the United States and converted to serving humanity. Converted for serving humanity. would be better, I think. Does that seem okay?
In a peaceful way. Serving humanity converted.
The problem is there's a lot of, because our military budget is so huge, there's what I feel a lot of other areas that really need help and support for civilians. Our education system, our road system, our bridges, our food and agriculture system, everything that has to deal with running the country and making it a successful country has been stripped down to the bare bones because they want all the money for the military.
But we could have those same people could be, instead of building military bases, they could be rebuilding the roads, or they could be, instead of educating.
Yeah, and there's about probably between 1 and 2 million, roughly somewhere in there, people in the military totally.
Right.
And then there's 300 million people in the United States. But I'm saying, can some of that huge military budget be used to support civilian growth and civilian rebuilding and stuff other than just for the military that it used to be?
Well, you could say that the military budget is applied in supporting all the people and their families, and supporting, all people, or all people of,
Or all Americans, or all.
What if we,
the budget
what
to
if,
support all the people of the world, actually, quite easily, with enough left over. Think about it, it's trillions and trillions of dollars. Sorry, Caroline, you said?
yeah, I was thinking, what if we're removing associated people?
Yeah.
What if we are, how do you, or why don't we say US citizens?
And then we have the entire military industrial complex of private corporations that are building all of this equipment and research and development. Because it's like when they shut the space shuttle system down here on Space Coast, yeah, that unemployed a few thousand people, but it also affected the entire county and local region where 20,000 people lost their jobs and family or homes and so forth because of the businesses that went out of business because they were supporting that structure. So we had a major housing crash, and value of houses fell through the floor, and everybody moved out because they lost their jobs, and then the businesses lost the business.
Well, that's one of the issues with, there's so much of the economy is based on the military. Right?
I know, it's unbelievable, and it's based on the government too. It's like, what is it, 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 people work for the U.S. government?
I think whatever you wanted is within these two blocks, because we are making sure that the veterans are specific mentioned because they were part of it. So through their experience and what they have gone through, they can be there as what they're crying for, to show people, to prevent, because of their experience. So they become also very valuable teachers, but they need the support to be able to come on that platform to re-educate. And that's exactly what is mentioned there. So if you read it again, Rick, you got to go for the wish that you got to give an example. How can you serve humanity and the planet? What can you be as the most beautiful gift to those two? So you're creating peace in all the countries wherever they are present. So with creating this wish and bringing that back to your country to be as a form of resetting something. It's like a reset to convert everything into serving. You don't only serve the ones which are outside the states, but you also are elevating and changing the condition of the people within the United States, so that they become a living example for humanity and for planet Earth. And that was the wish, because if they can do it, then it will be much easier for the others to follow as well. But it's to show that it goes beyond their borders, that they can serve beyond their borders. That's how we erase the borders very slowly, by making this kind of wish. Each American will feel this wish. So they will respond to how we compose this wish, and that will in turn serve so many more. So maybe you can read it again, Rick or Flynn.
So let's start again. Excuse me. United States of America, Flint. My wish is that all military personnel and associated weaponry and equipment located anywhere in the world from all the branches of the U.S. military are recalled back to the United States and converted for serving humanity. That the military budget is applied in supporting U.S. citizens and their families, including all veterans, and re-educate them to be peaceful teachers, thusly elevating the education and peacefulness of all humanity.
We have to add a meaning for the conversion.
Well, we have peaceful sort of twice in here. Maybe there's a different word that could be used that would indicate that conversion, that change.
It's missing there. Because my wish is that all military personnel and associated weaponry and equipment located anywhere in the world from all the branches of the US military are recalled back to the United States and converted for serving humanity. But we have to make sure that this converting is addressed, because they can still imply the way it's written, or we can still use it and it's still a serving, because there is no indication for the purpose.
They're all brainwashed now that all the equipment is being used to serve humanity, because it's out there to protect and blow up anything that might harm us.
So we have to make sure for serving, that last bit has to be very specific. Serving alone will not, because they can say, oh, it's for your safety. We're still doing this because, so it has to be very clear in this wish. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they can find any excuse. It still can be used for serving, but you have to really pin it down. This is missing.
Decommissioned?
Yeah, something that they know. You see, we are just calling them back and convert it, but I think it should have a different name. It's not specific. That they cannot appoint it to no other.
Then you say from all branches of the United States military are recalled back to the United States. Put a period there after United States, and then just formulate a whole new sentence of what you want to have said. Or paragraph or whatever is going to fit in there to get the right things in there.
And all and what word did you use, Flint? Decommission?
That's a good word. Why not just recalled back to the United States and decommissioned? That's what they do with ships and that kind of thing when they put them out to pasture.
Decommissioning means dismantling, yeah?
No, it just means that it's not put to active use, so it's still a functional machine. And it's functional there, it's just not actively used.
And when the machine is not actively used, it's not very long before the rust sets in and it seizes up and it's no longer useful, especially for old warships and that kind of thing, as we found out in Canada when we bought used submarines from England.
And what you can do is now decommissioned or converted for peaceful applications. And converted. Because they have to decommission them for use or military, and they can only be converted for peaceful application.
Yeah, and usually decommission means that
I don't know
any active parts or weapons are neutralized so that they can't be used.
We have to make sure it's fully understood. No, playing with words or interpretation, not even in a wish. Would that read better and understood better? Come on, people.
I think it's pretty good the way it is there with what you added, the decommissioned or converted for peaceful applications. Seems to pretty much cover it. I'm trying to think if I was a military lawyer how I could squeeze out of that one, but what else do they do with weapons? Like, it's actually illegal to destroy a weapon, for example, for the regular person. I heard on the news the other day, you're not allowed to take your gun and destroy it, for example. But I think the military can. That's part of what they call decommissioning. And
can we also, because Flint is only orientated in the military, can we not also add to this wish that all military and private weaponry, because you carry a lot of firearms within your country, private. Can we include these in this one?
Yeah, and we have lots of private mercenary armies too that are hired.
Exactly. I do understand that all military and associated weaponry, but I want to make sure that it's not only the military which is responding to this, but also the population itself, which is carrying arms. Where can we build that in? That is not all.
Well, it's an unknown on the underground grassroots network. There's 50 million Americans that form the U.S. militia to protect themselves from the government and the military.
Yeah, but if we disarm, then it has to be in its totality, not only, this is only focused on military.
Mm-hmm.
You're not, it's not because I carry a firearm, it doesn't mean that I'm a military person, but I still carry a firearm. So I want to try to see if we can add this, that it is actually covering the whole of the United States, that each one puts his firearm down. So how can we put this that is not only all military? Because there's no use if we are putting the military budget for supporting US citizens and their families, yeah, and re-educate them to be peaceful teachers when they come in somebody's house and they hate the military, that they can shoot them down. Because they still can possess firearms. For what? So if they are all putting their armory down, where can we include this in this wish?
And also has to include all the private armies that are hired by our leaders. It's known that, you know, Bush Sr. and Jr. both have their private army they've hired.
How about all U.S. citizens and military personnel associated?
Well, we have a lot of foreign aliens here that aren't citizens. You have to live here 7 years to become a citizen.
Or in the U.S.? We'll take care of that, Flint, or all in the U.S.? Including the military personnel and associated weaponry. That would fit right there. And then the second paragraph cannot start with that. It's best to start with create another wish. I wish that. I also wish that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Good point. So part of the thing that I see here is that it started out as it's the country, or is it the country, what you want the country or the government to do?
No, it's the country.
Okay.
Because it starts with it, United States of America. How can your country, that was my question, how can your country, what has your country as the most beautiful thing to serve humanity and the world? How can it shine? In what can it do to fulfill that purpose? And this was what came from Flint.
There's others on the list, but this is probably the top one that's going to help the most.
Yeah, so he's specifying the military in this particular wish, and it seems like to disarm all citizens, which would be true of all countries of the world too, because all citizens arm themselves in every country basically. But that's almost a different wish in a way, because he's sort of specifying military in this particular wish, which is pretty big in itself.
What if we put, what if you go with, I also wish, what if you go down with that one? Just space it a little bit down. Stop. And I would start with the And this includes all US citizens.
Where would you want this now?
Just under as a little space, and I would put that there too. It doesn't matter, it turns out into two wishes. They are interconnected with one another because it's United States in its totality.
Maybe I shouldn't say U.S. citizens, other than need to be more generic.
Residents.
No.
Resident. US residents.
Residents.
Yeah, that includes
Say
citizens and
people,
non-citizens.
anybody living in the United States.
Is a resident. Not illegally, but we are not thinking in legal terms, but in English terms.
All people residing within the United States.
Or why don't you say Americans all over the world?
No. We are working on the states. We automatically, because they're coming from the United States, that was explained, you touch every single American worldwide to respond to this wish, no matter where they are. The roots are from the country where we are creating this wish. This includes all US residents and how can we formulate that? To put their weapons down or to hand them over, or how can we direct the residents of United States?
I just thought of something there. The first line up there probably should say United States of America and its territories. No, the first line by my name.
So that will then include all the people in it. Voila.
Because we have a lot of territories, like the Marshall Islands and Virgin Islands and other stuff that aren't physically part of the United States.
Okay. And if you now put, this includes all US residents added to the top part, just as a individual sentence, just added to the, a little, yeah, okay. I would not create, I also wish that the military, but make it confirming the military budget will be applied in supporting US citizens and their family, including all veterans, and re-educate them to be peaceful teachers.
Make it present instead of future tense.
To re-educate them?
Re-educating.
Educating. Re-educating.
Also make it present tense instead of future. Military budget is applied.
The military budget is applied. In supporting US citizens
better English probably would be is applied to support U.S. citizens.
Is it U.S. citizens or residents?
U.S., there we go. All people residing in the whatever.
What if we bring the military budget is supplied for not supporting, but can you make the gap on supporting? But we first come to is applied to educate. The military budget is applied to educate. And we don't need to re-educate them. We need to
educate and support U.S. residents.
say that again.
The military budget is applied to educate and support U.S. residents and their families, and then don't put the re-educating part in later.
Yeah, yeah. And their family, including all veterans. And I would not use re-educate them, but I would use to serve, to educate and serve US residents and their families. Not support, but serve. Because serving means whatever they need, they can receive. Mm-hmm. So does it read better?
Mm-hmm.
The military budget is applied to educate and serve US residents and their families, including all veterans, allowing them to...
That's what I put in, allowing.
Yeah. That can become something much more beautiful. And in this way, serve humanity peacefully.
We already have serve in there, though.
Yeah. Yeah, the more compact, we don't need to use too much words. It's the facts that needs to be stated in a wish. So we start again. Leave it for a minute. Read it again, please.
Okay. My wish is that all military personnel and associated weaponry and equipment located anywhere in the world from all the branches of the U.S. military are recalled back to the United States and decommissioned or converted for peaceful applications. This includes all U.S. residents. That's a bit awkward. The military budget is applied to educate and serve U.S. residents and their families, including all veterans.
What if you put, my wish is that all U.S. residents and military personnel and associated, what if you put that on the top? Because then you name all of them and you include, so they're not, yeah. How does it read now?
My wish is that, let me get rid of an all here, is that all U.S. residents, military personnel, and associated weaponry and equipment located
No.
anywhere in the world.
No, we cannot. Or are we sending them all home? It just clicked on me. Unless that is your wish, Flint.
What?
Just read it, then it clicks.
Right, you can't recall back the U.S. residents.
It just clicked on me.
Recall them back from around the world, perhaps.
Well, you're recalling the civilians and private armies back too,
Oh,
doing their mercenary work.
If we recall all the people back to their original countries that they came from in the world, have a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
that was a nice one.
We could decommission all Americans or something like that. Yeah, let's try to get this.
I think for the private, I don't know. I think that's going to be a different chapter. Let's try to finish this one.
Yeah, separate wish to disarm all the civilians of the world, because that's another whole big thing in itself.
I just realized trying to be too good is not good either, huh?
You can't please all people all the time.
Well, I'm not sure if U.S. residency is the right phrase to use either, because that's even restricting. Because there's specifications that you have to meet to become a U.S. resident. And that's like having a green card, live here for at least 3 years, or be married with someone for 5 years. And so we can have all kinds of people fluctuating in here that aren't residents. They're legal or illegal aliens.
But will they have military equipment that there be?
Well, that's one of the things that Obama was trying to do, is get the military private people that were fighting down there in Mexico, get them to come up across the border here and create all kinds of stuff.
Okay, I think that will be a different wish.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna
can't clean it all up in one fell swoop. You have to have several passes to.
We're gonna try to stick to your initial wish, because I was trying to get it in, but it doesn't add up. I just got spooked. I said, what the heck? This is too much of the good. So my wish is that military personnel and associated weaponry and equipment located anywhere in the world from all the branches of the U.S. military are recalled back to the United States and decommissioned or converted for peaceful applications only. I would really emphasize on that. The military budget is applied to educate and serve U.S. residents and their families, including all veterans. Them to be peaceful, that's going to have to be adjusted. Can we use to serve as peaceful teachers Read it again, Rick, the last one.
The military budget is applied to educate and serve U.S. residents and their families, including all veterans, to serve as peaceful teachers, thusly elevating the education and peacefulness of all humanity. What if we took out the first serve? No, it's not just to educate, though.
You have a question there, Dean? You had your hand up.
Hello there. I don't know if it's a question, but a statement. We have all of this equipment, all of these people under contract, soldiers, etc., around the world. And they have the equipment and they have the skills in order to do reparations on what has been damaged by a regime that has been at war for a long time. And I think we need to do a 3-year program of infrastructure on a worldwide basis, and the money is already being spent by the military. If you take out their black budget and just do what it's supposed to be appropriated by Congress, what the president had talked about as far as doing infrastructure work in the United States, I think we take and use that equipment and we turn it, it said turn it from weapons of war or swords into plowshares. Well, the plowshares is the equipment and the skills and the fact that we have these people under contract to do whatever they're told to do, whatever the politicians tell them to do, that's what they need to do. Anyway, I've given a lot of thought to it, and a long time ago, Buckminster Fuller said that, I think it was 1976, that by taking a concerted effort on a worldwide basis and reallocating money, that we could put the infrastructure within the world in order to make it a peaceful place. So that's all I had to say. And to recall heavy equipment back to the United States, it would be better to dismantle it and take care of it there because it costs too much to bring them back. Anyway, that was just my 2 cents. I love the way this is going. Thank you.
Any more thoughts?
Yes.
We're all working on this together.
Yes, it's Mark. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think the phrase that is in the preamble of the Constitution of the United States basically sums it all up, which is the mission of the government is to provide for the general welfare. This does not mean handing out welfare checks. This means creating the conditions that if someone wants to work, they can work. If they have a drink of water, they're drinking clean water. It's to create the conditions of the United States and the world to provide for the general welfare.
I do agree, but where is the application for it? If it's not applied, we can create what will be in the, that's what we're trying to do, to create the wish that it can start applying for what is there, which is not applied for. So we're trying to find the best balance. And this came from one person, one wish, because I just asked what would be the best that United States could do. Because if you, as Flint opened it up, if you look at where they are all present, for whatever their presence is there, it is not very comfortable for the other people in their own country. So that's most probably why this switch came on the table this way. If we pull them all back to the United States to serve within the United States, that will be an example. If they can do it, then a lot will follow. Any more thoughts?
At the end of the 1800s, beginning of the 1900s, who was ruling at the time bankrupt the United States. At that time, it was created the Corporation of the United States. In order to control, created a whole system based upon the necessary guidelines for that corporation to operate, including social security, driver's license, the way the corporations are, and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So even the words that we use today, like people, person, all those were created in order to serve the purpose of the corporation. I understand that we're having here a little bit of trouble choosing the correct word. And the correct word that I would like to suggest is the word being. Being does not fall into any of those categories and will be the most comprehensive word that could embrace the entire population that is right now in the United States and in the territory. So that is my suggestion, because, and also the word inhabitants, like the beings inhabiting the United States and its territory. That way you embrace every single thing without falling into the language of the corporation, which also will be connoted with a lot of energy that is not the desire, and it's part of what I think is happening right now in this country.
So can you please direct Rick, what would be more in its totality serving this wish, please? Maybe, Rick, you can put it underneath and then we can see where we can add.
When you use the word residents, instead of residents, put beings, the word beings, not the word person or resident or
living beings.
Living beings. Well, but yeah, maybe there you go into other creatures, but beings will embrace per se, not necessarily humans, because we know there are more than humans living in the world, so, and in the United States, but beings will embrace, will be the word for people, person, resident, because resident has a lot of connotation within the corporation.
Yeah, and actually what the gentleman said about the Constitution, I think is good, because it's restoring the power to the living beings. I mean, the respect for the living beings and transparency. That's what I also want. There should be transparency of actions and everything reversed for the well-being of all living beings and within the United States and the world.
But if you want to make it comprehensive to the United States to be a leader in the new undertaking position, I will say the United States and its territories, as somebody mentioned it, no? So it will comprehend what is the United States per se today.
So where do you want what to be adjusted, please? Start from the beginning, very slowly. Don't go too fast that we can follow you.
Okay. were you mentioned that the residents, remember that you said the residents in the United States, I think is like at the middle of the paragraph.
Where it's highlighted there now?
I think she's joining by mobile and may not be looking at the screen.
Yes, I apologize. I am driving. I'm sorry.
Okay. So we put the beings in instead?
All beings.
So the military budget is applied to educate and serve all beings?
Yes. Inhabiting the
living beings.
No, living, use inhabit, living, okay, living, inhabit is that they are living. Inhabiting is, I don't know, when I think that the word inhabiting.
Yeah, I think that's a better word, yeah.
All inhabitants.
No, inhabiting, like all the beings inhabiting, meaning that are residing comes from the word resident. So just to be more explicit, the word for residing will be inhabiting the United States and its territories, because that also includes all the Puerto Rico and Guam and Hawaii and all these places that are American soil.
Well, it's already starts out with that at the top, though. This is what it's directed to and specific to is the United States of America and its territories. Maybe we should put in, it's not just the United States of America, it's the beings of the United States of America? Or is it to the government of the United States of America?
I think that if you say being inhabiting, you have everyone, because it's the military, it's the civilians, it's everyone. And I think that everyone should fall into the category, because there are civilians that are armed, and some because they feel they need to defend themselves, some because they have maybe other motives.
So you're saying to put what where then?
I will recommend to have it inclusive, so that you not only focus on the military, but you also focus on the population. That way it's everyone.
You could say the military budget is applied to educate and serve all beings inhabiting the United States of America and its territories.
Correct.
Don't need to say families, veterans, all that kind of stuff, because that
that will fall into that. That will fall into that, because if you're an inhabitant, you could be everything. You could be any color, any race, any creed, any line of duty, if you want to call it.
So what should I put in here again, Flint? What are you saying to put where?
Well, so the military budget is applied to educate and serve all beings inhabiting the United States of America and its territories. The United States, I should say, probably. And then right there, yeah. Like, yeah, correct. Does that read properly now?
I'll read it again, please.
The military budget is applied to educate and serve all beings inhabiting the United States of America and its territories, to serve as peaceful teachers, thusly elevating the education and peacefulness of all humanity.
I think it's good.
And then in the first paragraph, you can say, my wish is that military beings and,
yes.
and associated weaponry.
Yes. Yes, because as you know, the military is not only people.
Yeah, I know that. Or what we would call people.
Maybe beings aren't military, though.
Beings occupying a job, but what would be the appropriate word? Who are conducted in the line of duty or that serve in the military?
Or part of the system, military system, and all technologies, because beings and technologies, I mean, you can include any kind of.
Well, and don't forget about the secret space program where.
But that's why the transparency, it's important, the transparency. It can be hidden control.
Can I add something here? Something a little bit two-dimensional here. The United States, somebody was speaking earlier, is a corporation based in Washington, D.C., which is not actually a part of the United States. It's a separate, right?
It's a territory, just like the Vatican.
Like the Vatican and the City of London, the 3 states. So we're really talking
about... Are we talking about the government, or are we talking about the land mass of the United States?
The land mass is owned supposedly by the people of the United States. However, it's claimed by the federal government. And those are the federal so-called, what do you call them? The environmental laws where they've appropriated federal territories.
It was the admiral laws.
Yeah, those are that's the corporation claiming territory. The actual only territory owned by the United States of America corporation is Washington, D.C. That's where every citizen is registered. Now,
when you're born, your birth certificate is a claim. They're claiming you as property.
It's a brand. It's literally branding cattle.
Yeah.
And the free people movement has no more say than the cattle has against the ranch owners. That's just their telling who owns what. They own us. That's the way they look at it. So this is sort of two-dimensional. It's looking at the United States as not really being a worldwide controlling body. It's just a military arm of the bankers and the Vatican. So you have...
And the Queen.
And the Queen, well, the royal families, right? Mostly the Dutch and the British, right? So, but the other royal families as well. So they're all inbred, and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. But they're the ones that are really in control of the United States corporation. So do we need to put the United States? Why don't we just make it the world? Why don't we just...
What was the original intention that Caroline had in her workshop that this all came out of? Caroline, maybe you could
the notes I took were make a wish that it can serve humanity and the planet and put the people in a way that they can shine and serve.
About what
each country.
Each country.
Yeah.
The country, the landmass country, or the people of the country, or the government of the country, or how are we addressing the beings of the country, the soul?
If we put the pause on this one, I'll jump to another example. Let's say, just 1 second. I'm trying to be very specific. Jalal. I asked him, and he said, I cannot. I have 3 or 4 different, I lived there, I'm born there. I said, you choose. And he went back to his roots and he says, Iraqi people or this and this and this and that. And then he starts muttering on. I said, no. Within the first few sentences, you told me how they can shine and serve by truly showing that what you just mentioned. So it was, how can you stand out as a country by showing that this is your best quality that you can shine out, that can serve humanity and then the planet. Because if you show this, and this is your attribute, then each person worldwide will start showing, because of your wish, will enhance that attribute as beauty, and it will start, how can I use the word, infecting or touching other people and change their environment, because you shine as that beauty, because you got repositioned through the wish. Then when I went to Sander, he came up with a different quality of beauty from his country, which is Hungary. Then I went to Argentina, I went to Mexico. So I'm trying to make each country to try to shine in its beauty, because when you're from there and you're a native and or you're born, you know, because you carry the essence from your culture and your beauty. So if you listen to what they try to start explaining, that's within the first few sentences, that's what your soul is expressing, the beauty from that origin. And if we can amplify that, amplify this, then it starts showing in each citizen from that country worldwide, which then on its purpose starts serving and touching wherever you are on this planet, which is serving whole of humanity. And at the same time, because it's a beauty you're showing, you're serving the planet as well. So with this wish of Flint, I said, what would be the most beautiful thing that United States could show and serve humanity? And this was what came out. So I wouldn't go too far, because if they can be the example by returning as a soldier back to their country, and they can bring all their weapon, whatever tools they can carry back to their country, they will be at service for humanity, because they will bring so many more countries into peace again. And by doing it, they will show their beauty, that they can serve in a peaceful manner, because that's the wish.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Hi, this is Estela. I'm in the same position. I am a citizen of the United States. I was born in Argentina. And I really feel like I'm an inhabitant of the planet Earth. It doesn't matter where you live. But what I experience in both countries is that sense that you're not recognized as a human, living human. And I think is the basic, like if every country recognize their own people and the others as an inhabitant, like they're important, you're not, and your soul also is important, then automatically we will be doing something good for ourselves and from others.
Yes, Stella, but I was trying to make a point that to activate, the beauty came in the conversations from the different people from the different countries, came as Norway or Denmark came up in education. Mexico came up, or Brazil came up as that they can enjoy life, they dance, they sing, they, although they are really suffering underneath, but they show their beauty by using colors, being cheerful, and creating music and song, and they show it in that beauty. And then I went to another part of the world, and then something else as a beauty came out. So if we are emphasizing each other's beauty, then we erase so many other things. So it is in true, we are elevating by amplifying certain beauties that, you know, this might not be present in this country because they don't have war. They don't even have an army anymore. So one country can balance the other country, and it doesn't matter where they are, because at the end, through this wish and confirming the wish, they will show their beauty, then that others can learn from each other's beauty, not from because you're a human or you're all part of it. But that doesn't mean that you cannot be inspired from a certain culture and a certain language or a certain position on this planet. That doesn't mean that you cannot be inspired of their beauty. And this is what I was trying to bring up, to put in a higher light, because I can learn from you and you can learn from me. So it becomes a gift exchanging. But if I don't amplify it, how would you get to know in what that country is so beautiful? It's by exposing it, amplifying the beauty of that specific, that we are breaking the borders, and we are making sure that it will shine because we are feeding it with our extra energy field, that somebody, let's say from you're Portuguese and you're, let's say, in Denmark, or you're Brazilian and you're in Norway or in the colder areas, they don't have that kind of fury of song and dance and, you know, the joyous of the life. But if we create the wish, my intent was that if there is, and there are Brazilians, let's say in Denmark or Norway or Sweden, that they start becoming more shining, more noticing, so that they can show their beauty amplified, because we are doing that, to where it is not so well known. And that they, because we are amplifying the beauties in the other countries, let's say in Denmark, the education or teaching, that they start noticing that they can, you know, standing out. Because if you increase the field strength, you become a shining light. You stand more out. You understand?
You can come into my room.
That was the whole purpose.
I do understand, and I pretty much see it like, okay, if they're powerful and they're good in as a military, you know, they are very efficient. Maybe they can be very efficient and being peaceful and helping improve the
because it becomes, it creates the, you know, if I don't know that you're next to me because you're invisible, I don't know your qualities, I don't know your beauties, but suddenly because of the wish, I start amplifying that beauty, and suddenly next to you, you start noticing this beauty because I have increased the field strength. It will be a gift to you, will it? So it will work vice versa. And that's where it's going to serve one another worldwide, global, humanity, planet Earth, and it only will amplify the beauty. So if we know that there is so much, what does the world population know, let's say in general way, that as Flint pointed it out, the military is everywhere present, and they're all carrying US military on their uniforms. Their flags are with there, the colors are with them, so they recognize them as US militaries. So if through this wish we can increase the field strength, that they start and change and get notified, that's where they become out of the transparency and start getting noticed as positive. And this was my question to each member of different countries. How can you be, and in what can you be so beautiful that it will serve humanity and the planet? No more, no less. Know where it's coming from, what, but I want to try to integrate in the wording of the wish that we make sure we cover the beauty. That's more important than the fine little details, but to make sure that it makes it as total as possible. So because I cannot give all the beauties of the states. We are going for something peculiar that will be standing out towards everyone on this planet, because everybody knows that the soldiers are everywhere. So I pointed this, and Flint says, okay, this is what comes to my attention. And I thought, this is beautiful. Yes?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question. I think, if I understand you correctly, whatever we call the United States, there's those armies with that flag is all around the world with the arms and all that. So whatever we call the United States, Flint's initial reaction was this: to whatever we call the United States is irrelevant. That body is this, and the wish is to bring that home. That's correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
To stand out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of many steps that I think that need to be done and that the U.S. needs to take to reprove itself to the world, but this would be an initial step that would help the most. Just bring them all home and stop the wars in the so many countries that we're warring and fighting and everything right now.
That was his first concern from Flint. That's why I didn't ask anything else. And I said, that would be absolutely beautiful, because we are amplifying the beauty. And with this also, you will touch every single American, which will start, you will start increasing their field strengths, even if they're not even committed in or around the military, because they come from United States soil, they're born or related, or, you ignite a spark, and we have to start somewhere. And I think that would be a very beautiful beauty.
And Americans are beautiful people. We have a mixed culture, and all the Americans that I know are peaceful people that have loving, caring families and really don't want to have anything to do with war. And it's our government and a few million people associated with our government and militaries that are tarnishing who we are around the whole world. So no one really likes Americans because they see us as dictators that come in and take over countries. When in fact we really aren't that way. It's just the people at the helm are.
It's truth.
So you want to bring them all back to your country?
Well,
are you serious?
I know we have to deal with them. I don't know.
I have
actually, the Americans are very beautiful. I mean, they're peaceful people. They really don't fight.
I have something to complicate the mix here, as usual. All right, I'm Canadian born, but I grew up in the United States. And my sister was a half sister, grew up in Canada, and she would always say to me, if anybody asked me who I am, I would say I'm Canadian. She would say, no, you can't say that. You don't sound Canadian. You sound American, because I grew up in the US. My accent is American. So who am I? I'm American language, not Canadian. Where do I fit?
If you have any weapons, that pretty much classifies where you'd fit in the wish here.
You see, when you put this out, the beauty is that we all start thinking, we all start repositioning ourselves, and we try to see what is the best for all. And by you all participating, you're doing, you're already moving, because I said, from in closure of my teaching, I said, it's already done, because you have already created your wish, you have spoken it out. Now we just are going to open it to a bigger platform and finishing the wishes with all the attributes from all you people which are present here today. So it can only amplify the beauty. But the moving of that field strength has already started the motion on Wednesday. So the only thing with all your words and all your adding and all your thoughts are fed into or brought in or added to this beautiful field, which is just going to amplify this motion of moving. So you already have started bringing the change, because you're working on it through your soul, through your intent, through your presence, through your adding. So it's already on the move. That's why it is so beautiful.
And I think it's Mark. I think the Chinese are helping also in other countries with the BRICS movement for a win-win situation. They're helping to fulfill this wish as we transition from sovereign collaborative nation states into a one nation, one planet.
Yeah, and this is the platform we are working on. So it affects, and it's from an immediate effect, because we kick-started the process already from Wednesday. And if you have, or people are aware what is shifting in the news, you already very slowly see some moving going on. Because of the field strength which was created on Wednesday, it is already in process.
We see the big announcement of Trump and North Korea, Kim Jong agreeing to talk at least. So that's a really major accomplishment, something that hasn't been done for 50 years.
I'm telling you, people, you are so beautiful, powerful. So is everybody happy with this wish?
Jeanette, I think you had your hand up there, and I see your microphone is open as well. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Yes, sorry. No, what I wanted to say is that Mario was concerned of where he was. And basically what I understood from the teachings of Mr. Keshe was that you are from where the fields affected you as a person when you're created and growing. So wherever you were at the time, those are the fields that affected you, created you as a body, and then so that way you can relate.
Well, thank you for that. I don't worry about my position. I am where I'm supposed to be, and I have no control over it, actually, oddly enough. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Anybody wants to adjust it a little bit, or any adding?
Yeah, the military budget is applied toward new peaceful technologies and educations for that serves all being inhabiting the United States of America and its territories.
Well, no, you just say the military budget is applied to the Keshe Foundation.
Well, because they're well known always developing technology for war. I'm just saying the opposite. New technologies that support, serve the well-being of all inhabitants of the United States. New technology for peace, for that support that rebuild, that's and destroy. That's what I was thinking. Because the money goes always for new technologies that we don't even know what they're doing. I'm just saying the military budget is applied with transparency toward education and new technologies that serve all beings inhabiting the United States of America and its territories in a peaceful way, becoming the peaceful teachers, or the beacons, right? A beacon is like a sample, right? The peaceful. Sorry, I have a stiff neck.
I would like to see the principle of the general welfare put in there somehow, because this is not a term that just came up. This is something over hundreds of years where, 600 years ago, if you were born in a certain land area, the person who owned that land owned you and your services.
Yeah, the military budget is applied toward a transparent, peaceful welfare serving all beings inhabiting the United States of America. Because when you say welfare, it includes everything.
What if we say in a welfare manner?
If you use the word welfare, it's a charged word. A lot of people, as soon as they hear or see welfare, they think it's food stamps and that kind of thing, and they wouldn't want the military budget to just go and support all the poor people or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's also a word that's been usurped by our corporation, United States corporation, to mean something.
Welfare and so on.
Right, but that is in the preamble, and don't let them fool you by using that word welfare. It's just like you and your family. You provide the general welfare for your family, your children. You wouldn't put your child up on a 50-foot tightrope. That's not providing for the general welfare of your family, the country, the citizens, the world. So pushing war is not providing for the general welfare of the United States. Don't get fooled by that.
What about we say it's applied to educate and provide a peaceful welfare?
No, welfare doesn't serve, because that has the wrong interpretation for
providing.
Majority of the people in the United States that are suffering are on welfare. It is not a good energy.
I would say the corporations are on a bigger welfare.
What about a supply providing education and a peaceful habitat, serving all beings inhabiting the United States of America? Because the habitat is everything.
Well, what's wrong with peaceful teachers? The way that's phrased is brilliant. I think. Just leave that.
I like that.
And to me, the educate and serve includes all the things that you could think of in terms of housing or the welfare of people and so on. They're serving all of those aspects with ideally. But maybe you want to specify it. I like the word transparent in there, perhaps. The military budget is applied transparently to educate and serve all beings.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Do we agree to that? Does that sound good? Let's see what it looks like.
In a transparent manner.
Instead of welfare, how about well-being or prosperity of the people? Yeah, Elizabeth also proposed well-being.
Sorry, say that again, Shandar. Is applied in a transparent manner.
I'm not dictating, I'm just reacting to the previous discussion about the altered meaning of welfare. So you can use the term of well-being, for instance, as Elizabeth was proposing, or prosperity, or whatever. Use positive words.
To serve the well-being of all inhabitants of the United States of America and territories.
Well, you're not serving the well-being, you're serving the beings. That's the whole thing about the service. Not being of service to someone's well-being, you're being of service to the being through this. It's a bit different. Let me just read it again as it is and see what we can change. The military budget is applied in a transparent manner to educate and serve all beings inhabiting the United States of America and its territories, to serve as peaceful teachers, thus elevating the education and peacefulness of all humanity. There's too much education and too much peaceful. We got peaceful twice, we got education twice. We can't.
Well, instead of peacefulness, put well-being. And
the
well-being.
Education and well-being.
Yeah, of all humanity. I think
so. That makes sense. That'll satisfy the well-being people. It's one word, I think. Well-being, right? Okay, that seems good to me. Any comments?
Yes. Am I heard?
Yes, hello.
Hello, this is Dean. I am present. On the discussion of the word general welfare, if I were writing the document, I would put the word general welfare in there with an asterisk. And I would give a reference and I would put the preamble of the Constitution, at least educate them. Because if people are triggered by words and they don't know what they mean, you need to educate, or I think so. So that's just my way in on the word general welfare, because I think it takes you back to a pretty good founding document. And
right. We don't want to devolve down there. Okay.
No, we educate. What is general welfare? What does it mean? Then
right. We want to elevate them to understand.
Yep. What it is, and we give them pictures. We give them videos. We show them what it is.
Yes, but that's not the purpose of this document. Is we're not here to put in a bunch of subtitles and subsets. And what do you call
that's
it?
Fine. That's fine. Even without that,
it has to stand on its own, as it comes from the essence, as a pure thought form, you could say, without putting the footnotes on it.
Well, I am present with you there.
We could put the Constitution in, perhaps, and just put that in as something you'd want to present, but it's kind of like
I was just
how about what do you call it, a phrase out of the Constitution that could be enough of a key phrase or a trigger that.
Well, you know what, that could be like it was a preamble to the Constitution, and you know, to give just a couple phrases out of the preamble, maybe
in
some
way that is
beautiful way to open it up.
In a way, that is the, you could say, beautiful gift of the United States. I mean, if you talk to every single person in the United States, it's all about freedom. You know, every single person, in spite of it having more people incarcerated per capita than any other country of the world now, they still proclaim.
Actually, it's not per capita. It's actually numbers. It's actually population. But look, can I bring in something?
I'm going to bow out of the audio.
Can I? If we're talking about the United States as really a corporation that's owned on another level, and this is a worldwide thing, then I'm not saying that we should do this, but do we need to say all beings inhabiting the United States, or just the United States as that corporation, that entity that's ruling over the world as part of this tri-city corporation and its territories? Just put the United States of America. That really encompasses it.
No, it doesn't. Because all those people are not under the United States of America Incorporated. There's independent corporations that are associated. There's probably 100 layers of different government organizations that are involved that may or may not be involved with the corporation, so-called, of U.S. and so on. There's so many subsets and so many different parts of it. If you just recall the weaponry and the military personnel, that to me is what you're talking about. It's the real stuff. You can recall you can't recall the corporation in a way. It's like recalling the Apple Corporation, but leaving all Apple computers and all Apple personnel out there running everything and just changing the name, and we'll recall the corporation. Well, that, you know, maybe that is the way. Maybe that is the way to do it in a way.
Can we
go ahead?
Can we just 1 second, please? Can we conclude this wish? Because I would love to give more countries the opportunity to bring their beauty on the table so that we can start, and we can always come back to this. It's not because we are there and we devoted a lot of time to this one, but it doesn't mean that if there is something that comes up that inspires, oh, we could have added this, or that would be really to be able to rephrase that, we can always go back. But I would
yeah,
like to give other countries also the opportunity tonight to come on the surface with their beauty, because from that differences of beauties, we will be able to go back and maybe even adjust this one to a more beautiful one. But if we don't bring different views on the table, we are going to get stuck in this one for the whole evening. And I would like to bring some other flavors on the table, if possible.
Yep, I agree. So let's hold the additions to this. This are additions or alterations. I'll just put in the U.S. Constitution. That was a good idea that came in.
Yeah, leave it there. Leave it there. That's no problem.
In later, that'll key us
Yeah,
off.
because it will be nice to refer to what United States is actually standing for, because otherwise it would have never been there in the first place. Right. So it might be a very nice reminder to show how it should be conducted. So in the background, Rick, you can add it, no problem. But what I really would like to do is, I am present.
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 My soul is always present.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
Can I jump in now?
Are you available, Jalal?
Yes. I did hear you when you called me, but I was in work and I couldn't.
I know. That's why we didn't keep on pushing you.
Thank you.
Do you have your wish ready, Jalal?
Yes. It's already sent it.
Okay. Can we open it up to see the beauty?
Yes, please. If Rick can write it. Let's see.
Where did you send it to, perchance?
I didn't send it. You can write it. Just.
Oh, okay. Sure.
It is small sentences. It's not too much, but it's direct, you know. So, beautiful Iraqis will show the beauty of hospitality and generosity.
Don't go too fast. Don't go too fast. He needs time to type.
I'm a slow typist. Okay. Back at
Jalal,
beautiful
please.
Iraqis, is that what you said? Beautiful Iraqis?
Yes.
And then Jalal?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And what's after beautiful Iraqis?
His name, Jalal.
Oh.
This one.
And then,
this one.
Oh,
and then I wish. Now it's your turn, Jalal.
Rick, Jalal mit not E.
You don't want this?
Pardon me? That's what?
Jalal is wrong, you write it.
K-A-L-A-L.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Can I say, I don't like to say I wish, because it's already, they do. So
we wish.
Yeah. Let's say we wish better.
We wish.
Yes. We wish beautiful Iraqis will show
we are
To show? Is that
Will
what?
show.
Will
We
show?
are.
We are.
are.
We are showing. The beauty of hospitality, and generosity, and the servitor in knowledge.
And that what in knowledge?
And the servitor.
The what of knowledge?
Servitor.
Do you mean
Seven.
servitude? Do you mean servitude, Jalal?
Servitude is it past or present?
It's constant.
Yeah.
The servitude of knowledge. Okay.
And second line. No matter what, will not change their seeds of love and peace.
This part is not quite correct here or something. We wish beautiful Iraqis. What? Who are showing? Or no? We wish beautiful Iraqis.
Yeah, you can take that also.
To be showing. Or maybe like that.
Show. Just show.
To show. I think to show.
No. They are.
Who show?
I would remove beautiful. I would say we wish, full stop, Iraqis are beautiful in their hospitality and generosity and their servitude of knowledge.
And servitude's not really a good word. I mean, it means slavery to knowledge, which I'm not sure it's the right word that he's looking for, from my understanding.
Is it applying knowledge or serving knowledge, or how, in what framework does it sit, Jalal?
Applying. Because they have the knowledge.
So you can rephrase that in teaching the knowledge or application of knowledge or applying of knowledge? Or do, as Violette says, providing knowledge to others. To others?
Okay, now what about the first part? It's not quite right here. We wish Iraqis.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to use I wish.
Also, I didn't wish because they do, Caroline. When I sat, I said, beautiful Iraqis will show. That means they are already there. So what you
So if you remove we wish, and then you use beautiful Iraqis that are beautiful in hospitality.
I don't know if you want to put beautiful in twice. We already have it at the top, and then we have it again, and then they show the beauty. Are we talking about the beautiful Iraqis, or are we talking about the beauty of hospitality, or are they both tied together? I guess we can put that in. It could still work. Beautiful is different than beauty in a way. Okay, help me get through this again, this first part. Start with beautiful Iraqis. And then what?
Magnify or manifest?
No, it's more in they are applying it. They are beautiful in their hospitality and generosity and providing knowledge to others.
Maybe the word pursue instead of apply. Iraqis pursue hospitality, something like that.
What if it's more in the content, what I understood from July, that they are hospital, they are generous,
it's part of their
they
being.
are.
It's, yes, they are hospitable, you could say. Right? They are hospitable. But hospitality is a better word, actually.
Yeah. What if we use, instead of beautiful, Iraqis are great in hospitality and generosity and provide knowledge to others? Something in that way.
Yeah, well, what's the word?
Then you don't bump into twice beautiful.
How about you can use beautiful Iraqis when you could say they excel in hospitality and generosity.
Yep, there you go.
And providing knowledge to others.
Yep.
1L, excel. That's nice.
Instead of no matter, I would apply this slightly different way, Jalal.
Yes, go ahead.
I would say, once you carry the seed of love and peace, it can only sustain. In that beauty or something. Because I know the reason that you want to use the seed is no matter what they have gone through, they will never lose the seeds of these beauties.
Yeah, and this is really important.
Yeah.
a grammatic note. It might be better to say provide instead of providing, maybe.
Their carrying of seeds. Their carrying of seeds of love and peace can only grow in the coming period.
What do you mean near in the coming period? It is unlimited. It will never end.
And it's already been. That's what they've done for millennia, perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, it
it's
will grow.
Always present.
But they plant the seeds of love and peace too, so they do grow. Can only grow.
How about can help humanity flourish, or help humanity flourish?
Only grow more beautiful.
610.
We have
610. No, 69 next door. Okay. Beautiful Iraqis excel in hospitality and generosity and provide knowledge to others. Yeah, it should be provide because they're giving knowledge to others. They're not holding it back to themselves. Yeah. What if you change, you know, when a seed carries all these attributes, when a seed carries these attributes, they inspire instead of nourish. Because they show their strength. Because they have never lost these beauties. That's what Jalal explained. Because I asked him the question and it was a little bit confusing. And I said, you have to go back to the roots of the country. And the roots of the country, then he remembered that they are hospitality, they are generous, they are carrying a lot of knowledge.
How about if I put in, they carry the seeds of love and peace rather than their
To inspire humanity.
About Iraqis instead of they.
Pardon me, put in Iraqis?
That, yes.
Okay.
That's a beautiful gift. Are you okay with this, Jalal, or do you want to add or change something?
No, it's really beautiful.
Probably in mine and in his, we put our name first and then the country. Would that be or like that, separated on a separate line? One of the two says that they're separate.
It doesn't really matter because
Okay.
it's a record.
Okay. Yeah.
We can always come back and pull your ears and say, Flint, beg my pardon. There's something wrong there. We can change it.
Yeah, I know, it's just for reference.
I'm just joking. Jalal, are you happy? Would you like to read it, please, Jalal?
Beautiful Iraqis. Beautiful Iraqis excel in hospitality and generosity and provide knowledge to others. Iraqis carry the seeds of love and peace to inspire humanity.
What would it sound better? And in providing knowledge to others? Are they providing it to others? It's not only that they provide it, I think they are giving it as well. So,
is that the actual seeds of love and peace through the knowledge? Like, could we combine it and through providing knowledge to others, carry the seeds of love and peace to inspire humanity?
Try.
I think, is that what you're saying? Through providing knowledge and by providing knowledge to others? Or?
And through, because they're doing still, always done and are doing, providing knowledge.
And spreading the seeds of love and peace to inspire humanity. Because they are already carrying it, so they will spread it out.
Maybe we should say they carry hospitality and generosity. But excel can work too.
Try again, Jalal.
Beautiful Iraqis excel in hospitality and generosity, and through providing knowledge to others, spreading the seeds of love and peace to inspire humanity.
Can you read it in Arabic, please?
Yes.
Let me put in, I think I would put in they here or something. Through providing knowledge to others, it doesn't quite, not they, but doesn't quite connect here.
How about Iraqis?
Yeah, that would work. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Wait, let me translate it in good word Arabic because that's need the grammar. So go ahead and speak and do something.
Jalal,
yeah.
If you can copy paste the text underneath, because it's from your country, it's in your language, it will carry the field strength. We can understand English, but because it comes from your field strength, it will carry the strength.
Yes.
Are you happy with this, Jalal?
Yes, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Thank you.
I am present.
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 My soul is always present.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
This one, as I will say it every day as a prayer.
That's beautiful, Jalal.
On the word excel, could we could we say embody?
That's a beautiful, powerful word.
It's a nice word, all right. But they do excel in the sense that that's what they're known for among the populations of the earth. Take a vote. Any comments?
I hear your point on that, and if they do excel and they're known for that, then let's leave it with excel, because that is their forte, so to speak.
You know what is the beauty in that? If you read it, it's not about gratis. It's every one of you, he can put his name there, and this apply for all humanity. Because every one of us have these seeds inside him.
And now you're demonstrating the about how you provide knowledge to others as well.
Yeah.
You just can't help it, eh, Jillo?
And fun. as a friend said.
Well, let me just put in, I'll put it down below just as a, let me see. Body.
Embody and excel.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to, we can put that in as well, actually. Put in options that we can come back to later if you want to change it.
Yeah.
I wonder if we should add humor.
We gotta leave things for other
clown chakra.
Okay, that's very nice, Jalal. Beautiful.
Meanwhile, I will.
And excel in hospital.
Thank you. Okay, what do you think, Caroline? Should we move to another?
Yeah, we can always come back to it when.
can I just point something out? It's a very interesting juxtaposition of the previous Flint's wish and this Iraq Jalal's beautiful wish here. After the repercussions of the last.
I prefer not to go back yet, please, because otherwise we might be limited to only 2 countries.
No, I didn't mean that. I just meant it was interesting that Flint's wish and Jalal's wish back to back the way that happened. Just pointing that out.
Ah, sorry for the misunderstanding. So, Jalal, which one have you chosen? Beautiful Iraqis excel in hospitality and generosity, and through providing knowledge to others, Iraqis spread the seeds of love and peace to inspire humanity. Jalal?
Yeah, I'm here.
I don't hear you, darling.
I think the first one is always right.
Okay, so we stick to the first one.
Yes. Thank you.
That's your wish. Do you have the translation ready?
I am translating now.
Okay, let us know when you're ready.
Yes.
Sander, are you ready with yours?
Sorry, I'm working in the background for Mr. Keshe.
Ah, okay. So you're not ready yet. Okay. Oh my God. The Spanish or Portuguese or who was present in that language, please? Or Brazilian? I think it was, oh God, there's so many names.
Brazil.
Also,
Boris was in Brazil, but I don't see.
Walda has his hand up and got promoted or got enabled to speak. There's Florian has a hand up as well.
Yeah.
Stella is ready. Go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. I'm Florian Vry. I speak French. I'm French. I'm very excited, actually. Wow. Thank you. I'm present. Yes, a message. Yes, when Jalal talked about what he said that they see our beautiful hospitality, and they thank you they thank us for educational and using these new technologies tools for us. We use it and they thank you for using it and teach them and teach to everyone who want to see this and this is connected to the seed of the soul and the soul of the man. This is beautiful people. I'm present. I'm Florian Vry from France, and I thank you all, everybody.
That's great. Thank you very much.
I've been several times in Brazil, and it's a beautiful country. The people are so warm and so happy. It's seen in the colors and the music. It's they're very beautiful, and that's how I see the Brazilians. They're open heart. So maybe we can write something.
Somebody who was in my teaching present. Have you composed the wish for Brazilian?
I'm from Argentina, but I love Brazil. I go every year. I mean, pretty much. And the people are so warm. That I mean, it changed my life going to Brazil. And really, there I learned that you can be happy, colorful, the music. You can really smile and dance any time of the day.
I would really like to wait till we have maybe a person from Brazil or a native from Brazil.
That's fine. I just want to say how I see the Brazilian. They're really...
Because you are Portuguese or Spanish or?
Spanish.
Spanish. Did you have time to create a wish for Spain?
No, Argentina. John,
or
I think...
Argentina. I don't. Yeah. You're from too many different parts of the world. I can't sometimes not trace from where you are.
Yeah, that's why I was in Brazil and then now to Argentina and now go back to California. So, but I just want to mention the Brazilians. They're like beautiful people. That's what I just want to express. They're really an expression of joy. So anyway, I just want to say that.
Okay. Anyone else who was? Thank you for your contribution. I would like to go to the essence of, that it's really so powerful because they're connected. I know you had the imprint from how you perceived it, but there is an essence which I like to bring in the wish, that it can stand out. Give it a little bit time. And maybe next time or next Tuesday, try or compose a wish for Spain. Where Spain can excel in its beauty. That would be nice.
I wonder if Walda needs some translating. He has his hand up and microphone open.
Who?
I think he's part of Paul Yatute's team, I think.
Okay, I did hear Paul earlier, so maybe that was him.
You mentioned the name Flint who was there, but I can't recall his name.
Boris Megert?
Boris, are you present?
I don't see him in the list here. And he's Swiss natural born, but just is living in Brazil for the last several years.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see when they pop up when the time is right. Do you remember who else was present, Flint? We had quite a few people.
Yes.
We had Pia from Denmark or Norway.
Yeah, Denmark.
Denmark, okay. Pia, are you present?
Yes. Hello.
Hi. Is your wish ready?
Yes, my wish is ready.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you share it with us?
Yes, I will share this wish. I was that day next to the other seat. I was wishing about the new education.
Could you speak up, Pia, or get closer to the microphone? It's hard to hear.
Okay, I try to go closer. Is that better?
Much better, thank you.
Oh, that's good. I had wished for new education systems for children and youngsters. And I'm trying to write something down what we were talking about. And this is just some few of a whole list the changes could be. So I can just mention some wishes here. And I wrote down here for children and youngsters, also including educators and teachers and parents, because it's educators and teachers and parents who are involved in this too. So this include this. And the wishes include learning programs about self-development, tools to work with balance themselves, ourselves, and by that, balance the nature and surroundings and the environment. Also learning more about depths, about nature and the planet Earth, and the universes. And at least understanding our own soul. I'm saying our because we are also in it in one way or another. So that's what I wrote down.
Can you copy that to Rick?
No, I have not sent it yet.
Or paste it into Zoom or?
Oh, yes, but I wrote it in my hand, in the paper just right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, just repeat it back to me so I can type it in then. What do you want me to put in?
I tried to read it again.
Okay.
The wish is new education systems.
Pardon me?
New education systems.
New? It starts out new?
Yeah, new.
New, okay. New education.
Well, she said my wish or whatever.
Yeah, my wish is.
It's not my, it's I wish.
Oh, yes, I wish. And I can. Yes, I hear you.
So, like, I wish for a new education systems?
Yes. Programs and ethics.
Programs and ethics?
Yes. For children, youngsters, educators, teachers and parents.
I think I missed somebody there. Youngsters, what came after youngsters?
Educators.
Educators, teachers, and parents?
Yes.
Like that, okay.
Their education include learning programs. You can always change it afterwards, but I'm just reading for you what I wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
Learning programs about self-development. With tools. To work with balance themselves.
Balance of self?
Yes, of self could also be. And by that, balance in nature and surroundings. Or you could say surrounding environment. I don't know what you would write. And then at last I wrote learning more in depth about nature. The planet Earth. And the universes. To understand our own souls. I guess this can be spelled in many ways, but this was just a sort of think tank.
Thank you, Pia. Rick, can you read it, please? Then Pia can hear herself.
Yes.
Okay. What's this? I wish for new education systems, programs, and ethics for children, youngsters, educators, teachers, and parents. Their education includes learning programs about self-development with tools to work with balance of self by the balancing, by the balance of nature, by the balance of nature, or what was it?
No, what I meant is if you balance yourself, then you can balance also the nature and the surroundings. I don't know how you would...
with tools to work with balance of self, thereby balance nature and surroundings. Okay, well, we can work with that a bit. Let me just, I'll give you that last sentence. Their education includes learning programs about self-development with tools to work with balance of self, thereby, I think, balancing nature and surroundings. Makes sense. Learning more in depth about nature, the planet Earth, and the universes to understand our own souls. Okay, so if we're going to use all these, I'll have to put some commas in here.
Yes, it is actually interesting just to see it like that, because when I look at it now, children are in nature already balancing much all surroundings. That's the nature.
Yeah, I wish you. I'm Florian from France. I can learn. I can learn a program with my body to talk to other people through plasma through the plasma of my soul. with other souls. I can talk to them. I can interact by quantic. This is instant plasma connection, and I can do speech with this kind of technology. If I use my body with a program that I can learn with different old tradition or things like that. This is for peace. So this is for everybody. So there is no payment for that. This is the true light. This is for everybody, for the world, for the humanity. This is beautiful. People, stars, I wish you light. This is beautiful. Thank you. And I don't know, this is with this technology we can go through space or many places on Earth. I think we can move quantically our body, but we need program, I think. And I know some program to sense my field around my body with my hand to feel magnetic gravities. This is a program that I installed in my body that I can feel that I can feel the fields around me, and when I put my hand on my point of my body, this is connected to my to certain field, and this is connected to your field too. This is instant. This is there is no place. There I use Zoom to talk like that, but I can install a program. This is a sort of ritual that I speak some words that are in conscience that it is used in the present moment when we are present and when we elevated our soul and body at a certain level, and we can understand and understand and wish peace and light to all the bad things that's happening, and this is beautiful. I don't know. This is what I wish for all, and I can. I don't know. I think a lot of people can do educational of that, and this is not. This is not. This is real profession that exists, but this is other. This is Babylon. This is other jargon. This is these are other word of work for the world, and yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for your comments. Right now, we're focusing on this document and about maybe you would have something.
Yeah,
you'd
sorry.
be part of the representative from the French or for France or something. On I'm not sure if were you present in the teaching from the private teaching? Or are you one of the students, perhaps? Or are you not?
Yeah, I postulate for student.
Were you there within the teaching of Caroline when she did her private teaching last week?
I didn't get in for now. I don't know. It's like 1 week or two. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes.
But I'm active, but because I'm working on things like that, like I'm talking to you, I can see my hands moving through my plasma fields.
That's all fine, but we're not. That's not.
I can use that,
now, thing, and there's times for that, and there's times that we discuss that.
Sorry.
But it's just not our main focus right now, which is trying to get through some of the different countries, and we're looking at Pia's country of Denmark right here, and her idea of this education system and program for children and other people, and we're trying to work with this to formulate it in a clear way to begin with, and then we can go on to another country after that. Oh, no problem. It's just you know, it's. I know you're excited and enthusiastic. I can feel it.
This is beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, and I'm sure you have some good things to teach as well, it sounds like. So there will be a time for that for sure. Maybe the time is now. I don't know. How would you like to proceed, Caroline? Shall we keep going with Pia for a bit here? You still there, Caroline?
I'm so sorry.
Yes, I am still here, darling.
Okay. What was that, Mr. Kesh? Oh, Mr. Kesh talking in the background, I guess.
I mute myself.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.
Okay, bye for now.
Is Jalal back with the translation?
Yes, I have it.
Ah. How do you want to, can you paste it somewhere, or how do you want to put it?
I will say it, and then I will send it to you in a message that you can pass it in the.
Okay.
It's better to say it now that it goes even in the teaching they can hear us, because we are in Facebook also. So العراق الجميل تميز وتفوق في الضيافة والكرم عبر توفير العلم والمعرفة للجميع. العراقي الجميل ينشر بذور الحب والسلام لكي يلهم الإنسانية. Thank you.
Will you be able to provide the text for this that we can copy paste it, please?
Yes, I will write it, and I will put it in maybe in the Facebook. Let me see. I will paste it now.
Or you can put it, if you can put it right in the chat so people can.
Here I don't have Arabic keyboard. I have the other device.
Okay.
I will send it to you, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so let's go back to Pia, I guess, and try to make this perhaps more precise and concise. Any input, ideas? What do you think, Pia?
Yes, I was actually thinking from the beginning that I wish a think tank with people from different countries, but now we are talking about the beauty of each country. So this was just what came up here.
Well, how would that, I mean, how would that apply in your country, and how is isn't Denmark somewhat famous for its educational systems or programs?
Actually, I think they have the same, I would not say problems, but same, like in Europe. Sometimes too many people in the classes, sometimes very good teachers, and sometimes teachers who don't understand nature. And so I think it's maybe the same.
Okay, what is Denmark progressive in that they might shine for the rest of the world? In that sense of what you're talking about here, there must be something special, like the connection with nature, perhaps, or I'm trying to think, because I know Denmark's famous for certain things, and I'm just trying to incorporate what might be appropriate that they would, what's the gift that can be offered in through your country.
Well, can I ask, why do you think education is the focus of your wish? Why education?
It's because the nature of the root, when we have the right inputs from the root, then we will be able to create a better world. And that's from the beginning, actually from the kindergarten. But the school systems are very important. And I also think many feel stressed or locked up. And therefore, the beauty thing is that actually I've been listening to the news in Denmark for some time. And right there in this period, actually, it seems like they have found out, they're talking about in the news, that we need to adjust our system because we have been so focused on mathematics, to be good to spellings and mathematics, but we also need to focus more on the practical sides of things, because there will be a need for educated people for the practical education. For example, if we make factories with new technologies or whatever will come up, they are starting opening up. They're talking about we need more practical space for more practical education.
Okay, but I'm gonna rephrase. What is Denmark excellent in their own infrastructure that you brought this forward? Because the question was, or the request was, what can your country show as its most beautiful gift to serve humanity and planet Earth? So what is your country good at? What do they carry as a natural beauty?
I've got it. I just looked it up in Wikipedia, and I think I might have it. Let me just do a screen share here. It's interesting.
Is it windmills or solar systems?
No. This is different. One line came out, and let me just share it so that I get clear on whether it's appropriate or not. Here's the Wikipedia on Denmark, right? I just happened to notice that
quality of life.
It's an industrialized exporter of agricultural produce in the second half of the 19th century, but Denmark introduced social and labor market reforms in the early 20th century that created the basis for the present welfare state model. We mentioned welfare earlier, and a highly developed mixed economy. So this is Denmark, introduced the reforms for the present, sort of helping others, the welfare state, where actually meant the welfare of others, not welfare, the stigma of being on welfare. It was actually a beneficial idea at that time. It still is. But they somehow excel in sort of not the bureaucracy exactly, but the creativeness. That's maybe where their creativeness is in these reforms and these models of different ways of doing things. So perhaps there's people in Denmark, for example, that are creating new ways of doing things, new ways of here it is right here. Denmark is considered to be one of the most economically and socially developed countries in the world. Enjoy a high standard of living and it's one of the highest in education. Here it is. It ranks highly in some metrics of national performance, including education. So your country, you didn't even know it, but your country is among the best in the world for education, healthcare, protection of civil liberties, democratic governance, prosperity, and human development. All these are like special categories in UN and that kind of thing. A high level of equality. The lowest perceived level of corruption in the world. The fifth most developed in the world after Germany, one of the world's highest per capita income, and one of the world's highest personal income tax rates. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted, but Pia, you're Danish. You don't feel that way, do you? Why not?
To be honest, yeah, that's right. To be honest, no, I don't quite feel that way. But I see it. I see it that we have those attributes. I would call it attributes.
Right. So this is what we're sort of trying to get to is what makes what makes Denmark shine in a way.
But I actually also told about another subject. They were starting as the only country in Europe right at the moment. They are just developing systems for 3D buildings. A special company here in Denmark are doing the first building here in Europe. And they have, of course, been to China and many other countries to research what's going on with the 3D development. 3D printing.
Well, wait a minute. Is that what makes you proud to be Danish? You're an artist. You're a singer. I know the best bass players in Europe are Danish. I mean, is that what makes you happy about being Danish? That the company has a whatever that's being sold in China? Is that really what makes you being happy about being Danish?
Oh, that's what you're asking about. Yeah, I know that. We're coming to that.
Why are you happy to be Danish?
Yeah, why? That's a good question. Down to earth. Yes, education.
That's the question.
Yeah.
So tell us.
Less corruption and more education. I think that's what Denmark really, what I can say we are working for. I will not say it's without it, but that's what I could say. We can still do much more. And that's why I think about this education system. And of course, I would like to include the plasma technology.
it seems like there's already an outline for the education it's in the roots of Denmark to provide, good quality in that sense.
Now, Rick, this is what I was saying earlier. Look how Pia is communicating. And look what she has already expressed herself. Beside all this, as we say, she knew exactly to the core of her country. She doesn't feel, she feels she's something else, but this was the first thing that she brought into the topic. And now you go and look it up because we all got a little bit confused because she's not sure of it. And then you bring her back to the position, but darling, you are correct because that's what they are. That's what they are so outstanding for. And she has repeated 3 or 4 times. That's why I feel education is what Danish, but it's not getting or not coming out in the conversation is that she can use that, what is already there, as Jalal did, to come and be the most beauty that Denmark can be. So if we recompose the wish, what we all have come to understand, they are excellent in it. Now, how can that serve for humanity and the planet? So she has automatically spoken her instinct, which we call instinct, but it's the soul who has brought it forward. Because she keeps on going back. It's like she can't say anything else. She's agree with all the other inputs, but she keeps on going, emphasizing what is connected with her roots, because that's the seed from where she came. The same as with Jalal, and the same you're going to see appearing with a lot of other countries. Because it's the way the question has been asked, the beauty of your country to serve humanity and planet Earth. So it can only be the correct what it is to come on the surface, or it's going to be spoken out because it's going to serve so many souls. So you are speaking through your soul level. And that's the beauty, what we all have learned from Mr. Keshe. And I'm just trying to show or bring it onto the table to make sure you're aware of where the conversations are going, where they're coming back, but in the totality to see where what is and why it's there. So she started with this wish, and this was also her first reaction when I asked for the wish. And then she wanders off to other things, which a lot of knowledge seekers did. And I said, no, please go back to the first 2-3 sentences you speak, because that's your soul that is expressing. And if you start listening to those first few sentences, you will always speak what we say, the truth, but in fact, you will allow the soul to express itself through your physicality. And this is what I'm trying to combine in the understanding, because you all, I stayed quiet, and then you see I let the conversation to go back and forth. And you see Pia going there, and then she gets an answer, and then somebody else says, yeah, I think you're not connected, and why do you feel like this? And then it goes then. But Rick had a good feeling, and he went and he just pressed the button. And he says, it's all there, you're correct. That is what it is. And that's the beauty of your country. But I'm trying to explain, on the other hand, that you didn't even open the Wikipedia. I didn't. But I tried for you to understand that what comes after the question straight away, that is usually what it is. And if you remember from Wednesday, that's exactly the same line of thoughts you were putting on the table. I had to bring you a few times back, but I'll bring you back to the point you got to listen to your soul. It will never guide you anywhere than exact where you're supposed to be and what you can do with it. You understand, Pia?
Yes, and I'm trying to actually think, where do I believe we are in Denmark right now and in Scandinavia? We are maybe very, very close to achieve what's starting here, but we also need to take some new steps, and that's what we all need.
But now you know the direction of the steps that you could possibly take, or at least the people of your country, perhaps the steps toward the way of service, in the way of new educational programs for all of the people of the world. They could, Denmark could become the center of education for the world, in a sense, for the programs for the people of the world, not for the education necessarily, but for the programs that are set up to educate the people, which right now the programs are heavily influenced by some of the forces that we talked about earlier, basically. And that's eventually going to be dismantled and replaced with other information and other types of learning, and taking out the parts of history that are all to do with wars and wars, and putting in some of the new self-development and tools to work with balance of self, and thereby balancing nature and surroundings and so on. It's perfect.
Yeah, notice the first sentence. I wish for a new education system. Very profound. The Denmark system comes from the Prussian education system. Was developed in Denmark. It's different. And it's supposedly the most advanced. But notice Pia, coming from Denmark, wished for a new education system. I think there's something there.
Well, the idea is that they have a history, though, of reforming themselves in a way. This is where the hope is, I think. So they have a possibility of coming up with a new education system, because they've done it a few times in the past, perhaps.
Yeah, we have Pia. She's a bright.
So if what you said, Rick, if they have managed, and this is getting formulated in this wish, then you can imagine what a field we are creating. So what should be in the wish? That it can serve humanity, knowing what we are all trying and working in what kind of direction.
Yes, that's what I also thought about, to serve humanity, of course.
Right. So it starts to get into that in the last sentence, but it doesn't really complete the the cycle there, complete the bringing that in. So how could that be? How could that work in? How could it be phrased here?
Just to put in to serve humanity right after understanding our own souls. Yes.
I think your wish is complete. Maybe Rick can read it again.
Okay. Denmark Pia. I wish for new education systems, programs, and ethics for children, youngsters, educators, teachers, and parents. Their education includes learning programs about self-development with tools to work with balance of self, thereby balancing nature and surroundings. Learning more in depth about nature, the planet Earth, and the universes to understand our own souls and to serve humanity.
It's Mark. Can I make a comment?
Mm-hmm.
I wish for new education systems bringing forward the new science, the new ethos, and the new language for all children, youngsters, educated in plasma technology. No?
Any age, because all people also want to maybe learn.
I don't know if you want to define it that way or leave it open to new education systems that may incorporate that as part of it, the plasma teaching as well as teaching about how to, ethics and that kind of thing.
Maybe we could make a more depth wish where we have this think tank and describe many details of this system. And not today, of course, but another time we could make together.
Like what does that plasma teaching that Mark just mentioned, was it Mark or was it
Yes.
Was it Dean? Okay, Mark it was, yeah. Mark just mentioned, how would that look, fleshed out, like you were just saying, do a brainstorming of it to make it more solid. What does that look like? What would the new plasma education system look like? Should we put that in there? New plasma education systems?
Yeah, for me, no, that's nice for me. But what do you think?
This one's for you, so we have to keep it.
Yeah, Pia, don't be firm.
Yeah, don't let me force you into anything you would regret later.
Okay, I know what you mean. Yes, of course, plasma, because everything is plasma. Actually, we don't have to write it, but it is plasma. But we need some tools, and some of it is the plasma technologies. That's for sure. This is one of the most important tools we have got as the starting point for people, as we know.
Yes, that's understood. We're Keshe. This is Keshe Foundation.
Yes.
But you need to be firm in what you said. If this stands for what you believe, then you need to stick with it. If you decide you want to change it, then you should change it. But you should be firm with what you think. Is this what you believe?
Yes, it's what I believe.
Then stay with it, I think. It's just my opinion. Who am I?
I have a suggestion for surroundings instead of surroundings. Could you replace that with environment?
What do you think, Pia? Does that would that be okay?
Yeah, that's what actually I wrote to.
Okay. Environment?
Yes.
That's correct. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Gatwa. I did think about that, or either environment or conditions, surrounding conditions. So,
That's the
okay.
environment touch for those.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pia, can I say something?
Of course.
A new multidisciplinary plasma education system.
But it's not necessarily a plasma education system is the thing.
We need THE in front of environment and the.
Environment. Okay.
Yes, I understand why I confuse you by this plasma, if I mean it or not. Of course, I mean plasma. But when I wrote those lines, I had a lot of ideas what could be made. And I know many people have them. So therefore, I just wrote tools. It could also be computer games. It could be theater, play for each other. It could be so many things and tools and ways to work with your own development. And so that's why I didn't mention plasma, because there's so many different tools too.
And you could say all those tools are a way of working with our plasma and working with the fields as well. But it gets a little, this is more inclusive, I think, without specifying the plasma education system. We don't, well, we do have many parts of the plasma education system in place, but doesn't include everything yet, I don't think. Interesting question, though.
Well, if we include everything, we'll already be in the universe community, and I don't think any of this will matter anymore.
Yes, and we need to discern. That's how we can tell the difference between everything and something. Everything. Otherwise, it all mixes together, and then we just get the background that we see here, white.
The last sentence that begins with learning more.
Yeah, it's awkward, isn't it? Okay, help us out, Gatwa.
Thank you. That's not a complete sentence.
How would it work better? By learning? No.
I don't know what whether it was supposed to be a continuation of the above. But then we could make it independent by adding something.
I think the universes, maybe. Learning more in depth about nature, the planet Earth, and the universes to understand our own souls and serve humanity. Maybe? No, not there. Oh, yeah, okay. Thereby balancing. Yeah.
That's
no,
better.
Is it better?
That's quite long, but it's better in terms of the language, English.
The grammar, yeah. Planet
Is
Earth and the universe, right? I think so.
And this is Pia's wish. We're just throwing out some ideas, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
but
just correcting the grammar.
it sounds right. We could also write with plasma technologies and other tools.
Yes, I think that would be good.
Right. I thought when you say new education, I don't know if this is going to go to the public, but they're going to say, what do you mean what do you mean? New buildings, new desks, new pencils, new education? That's a little vague to me, but that's just me.
Yes, but that's also why I really would we have to do a more detailed specification.
No, the education, you're right, Pia, I think, because the education system that we use today is not an education system, it's indoctrination. And your words are perfect. I wish for a new education systems. This is perfect. It's correct, from my understanding.
Yes,
and I think
it's like we have to go to the next level.
yeah, we need to go to the next level. To me, this is a perfectly correct truth. But it's your wish, so I don't.
Yeah, but I actually agree with you. It's, it could be much more specified what this new education system is. I just don't know if we can make it shorter than this wish.
Well, this gives the wish, the actual, it outlines the wish, the emotion kind of behind it, just very, we don't want to describe that and go on and on about that, but this gives sort of the header for a larger, more developed out program or ideas and concepts that could be worked in, and then you can start connecting people and faces to it and start to actually work with it to make it into a network of people that are actually working on it and so on eventually. It's so
Exactly, Rick. That's why I wish that we could be a group of people making this think tank.
all right. Well, your wish is my command. We can make that group in the community Keshe Foundation site, for example. You could be a KF education ethics group or whatever you like to do. You could start a Zoom group or an email group or some other means of getting other people together. And once you have the ideas, and because it's actually embedded in your DNA, it seems to have come out today that this whole education thing is part of the DNA of the people of Denmark. And so unbeknownst to you, it's already embedded in you. And all you have to do is get the people around you, so these concepts and ideas come out, and you can start to let other people know about them, because not all countries are as developed, and it takes time to develop out these concepts. They're not just something you suddenly pop into another country and expect them all to understand it immediately. It takes years of different processes to go through in order to solidify. So, but that would be a grand project to reach out around the world, or to those who would like to work with us. So there's your challenge, Pia. Depends on how far you want to take it.
I think that's a good idea, Rick. That's what, just to have some more specific suggestions for the new program.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can be a little group traveling around and making maybe suggestions for teachers and educators and make workshops for them, for example.
Well, that's the thing. You could be an educator for educators, a teacher's teacher, basically.
Yeah, to test the systems and.
Well, I mean, what immediately comes to mind is to be a workshop, accredited Keshe Foundation workshop teacher, and then you can incorporate the plasma ideas and have that credentials behind you as well as part of a student at the Spaceship Institute and accredited teacher with the Spaceship Institute and so on. It could be part of a package, like you say. It could be a traveling package where you go around and present these plasma technologies, these wonderful, amazing plasma technologies and tools that work with balance of self, thereby balancing nature and the environment. At the same time, learning more in depth about nature, the planet Earth, and the universes, to understand our own souls and to serve humanity. It's beautiful. You got it all laid right out in front of you there, where you're a possible life path, and for those of others as well that can sign up for that one. But it's a beautiful one.
Yes, and it can be done with a lot of humor too.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. A mime could do that work, for example, or a musician or a poet or all of the above in a traveling troupe, a puppet troupe or a drama troupe, or you can do it through the school system and do it through, getting degrees and going through all the the higher echelons of law and of language and all that kind of thing. It all depends on where your passion lies and where fate takes you in a way. But it's funny, by focusing on this, that we bring out these aspects and start to give them life, essentially.
Yeah, the new educators are going to need training.
Yeah, they need a framework. They need something. They know that the system sucks basically all around the world because it's been controlled for so long by the whole slave sort of mentality and so on. But that's rapidly changing, and the teachers know that they need something new to help with the new concepts and new technologies and so on. They say now that it's not even worth it to educate kids about a lot of these details about history and all these facts and figures and so on, because in the new world they have to be ready for this changes that are happening literally moment by moment, and be educated how to roll with the changes and how to develop new concepts and how to just be able to change on a moment's notice, basically. And if they're taught the old systems that you get a job and you're supposed to be there for 50 years and everything's all laid out for you and so on, it's not that way anymore. The average job now is less than 2 years.
Well, look at this. This right here, Pia is a soul, powerful soul, and her wish is her command. And her wish is for new education systems. So there it is. She just solved the problem.
You're absolutely right. Thank you, Mario, for cutting through the crap, so to speak, and just putting it very plainly. But that's right. It's the bottom line is her wish is her command.
Yeah, so thank you, Pia. I thank you.
I thank you all, because it's like we are getting more, what was it? Was it today or was it yesterday? I don't remember. In one of the teachings, we actually talked about, and Mr. Keshe mentioned it, it was in the soul teaching. He mentioned it. We are getting closer to saying our wish is our command. And we are getting more and more plasma fields stronger and stronger. And we are getting more and more self-confident to say our wish is our command. So that's very nice.
I am present in your wish, Pia.
Thank you. I'm present too.
I am present.
I am present.
Present. I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
He or Pia's command.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
So, wait. Sorry.
Okay, Caroline, we've gone about 4 hours now. Shall we continue or shall we wrap up? What do you think about it?
I think we have come to understand that for the transcribers, if we stay within a certain amount of hours, it makes life much easier for them. And I have come to understand, and I have come to have a lot of respect for their work. So I think we should close the books for today. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. I have a suggestion. I think I saw Stefania's wish. I don't want to work on it, but perhaps we could copy it and start there next time. It's in the chat.
We can pardon this one?
We are going to stop because otherwise the transcribers are going to run into problem. And
Yes,
we are all having... We can work on it next week, Atwa, don't worry. We'll bring it back up and now we go through other countries.
Yeah.
I would like to put in Jalal's translation here. And
yeah, we got a few minutes yet.
It's hard to copy in the chat.
This is the last part you put.
Yeah, I know. I can only copy the last part and then the next line up above and then the next line up above.
Be careful because this is from right to left. Huh?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's going to come through here.
No.
I have to kind of go, got it all messed up now. Let me see if I can copy it all at once. No, I have to do it.
Yeah.
Oh. That didn't work out. Okay, so I copy the first one, put that in. I try to copy the next line. and put it in underneath, and it
bring the arrows down. Bring the arrow down if you can. Yeah.
Okay, good. And next one.
Okay.
Okay. And arrow down. Like that?
Yes. Thank you. That's beautiful.
Just up a bit. Right on. Great.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Jalal. I'm going to put that on a separate little page like here. Okay, there we go. We got that one separate, and we're good to go. Okay, I think it would be good to wrap up. We have a break coming up on the Facebook and so on. If we quit now, then we don't have to restart our Facebook and whatnot. Generally, keep under 4 hours, then it's much better than going over 4 hours. And there's a chance we get automated transcriptions when it's less than 4 hours as well.
Thank you very much, team. I will say goodbye. And thank you all knowledge seekers. It was a beautiful open table interacting. Thanks.
Really good.
Thanks for all your input.
Thank you for all the work you did in your private teaching to get to the point here so that we could enter into this so smoothly, basically. So it's all very good. Okay, so that wraps it up for the 31st One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace for Tuesday, March 13th, 2018. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Great show, and we'll see you again next week here, as well as the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up on Thursday, and I've got the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group as well coming up later on today for me or tomorrow morning for others. Okay, thank you, and I think you can wrap things up. Flint, do you have something you want to play?
I don't have it ready. I'll just play a little bit of music here as we close.
Okay, fine then. And
Rick? Reactor group time, New York time for tonight, tomorrow
1
morning?
a.m. 1 a.m.
Thank you.
Is it one? Let me see. I'm starting at 11, not 10. I think it might be 2 a.m.
2 a.m. for this week.
For this week only. This week only.
How exciting.
The wonders of mixed up time frames. Okay, thanks everybody. We'll end it now and see you later. Okay, bye-bye.